Brain injury continues to be a significant cause of disability and death for children of all ages. Pediatric brain injury leads to over 500,000 visits to hospital emergency departments each year and about 60,000 hospitalizations in the United States. Traumatic brain injury is the leading cause of death in children. Falls are the leading cause of traumatic brain injury in children, but motor vehicle accidents, recreational activities, assaults, and child abuse are also frequent causes of injury. Our law firm recently successfully resolved a lawsuit which we instituted for a child who at 6 weeks of age sustained brain trauma when the vehicle he was a restrained passenger in was broadsided by another vehicle at an intersection where a stop sign was missing. The collision caused the vehicle he occupied to roll over, and this infant was transported to the hospital where he was diagnosed with bleeding in the brain, a subdural hematoma. His neurosurgeons let the bleeding be reabsorbed without the need for surgery. But at 6 weeks of age, how can you determine the future consequences of this injury? And that's what I want to discuss with you today. Brain injury in children differs from brain injury in adults because the brain of a child is still developing. The effects of a child's brain injury may not be immediately apparent. Difficulties with memory, attention, language skills, and behavior may manifest many years after the original injury as the brain develops and the child matures. Children may not be capable of explaining their current physical symptoms or cognitive difficulties. So in considering the impact of a traumatic brain injury in children, all professionals, including doctors, the neuropsychologists, educators, and attorneys need to understand that a child's brain injury can lead to permanent cognitive, physical, and emotional consequences, which may not manifest themselves for a considerable period of time. Children suffering from any traumatic brain injury, including concussions, need to be closely monitored. It is only by close observation and continuing to follow the child, with appropriate testing being performed at intervals during the child's development, that the effects of any brain damage can be determined. Parents, school personnel, and those who represent an injured child need to understand what the Centers for Disease Control and a report to Congress entitled The Management of Traumatic Brain Injury in Children stated, quote, TBI affects children differently than adults. An injury of any severity to the developing brain can disrupt the child's developmental trajectory and may result in restrictions in school and participation in activities. Please keep this in mind when you see a child with a brain injury. Thank you for joining me this week, and I look forward to meeting with you again next week on a new edition of the Brain Injury Insider.